Hey YouTube, it's Amanda. So last time we talked about my first week as a Scrum Master. What about the second week? So, week 2. Let's go through it day by day. On Monday, let's rewind. Last week, on week 1, they told me at the end of the week that I'll be running my own stand-ups this week. So it's week 2, it's Monday. Remember, I'm on a hybrid model, so I worked from home this day. I sent one of the teams my own calendar invite. I used the Zoom links. I led all of the stand-ups. We had 2 of them. And I started kind of playing with the idea of having a daily icebreaker. The teams were not used to that at this point, so I was really excited to use my little icebreaker. After I used the icebreaker, I was a bit unsure about how it went over with both teams. One team, they were just laughing, they were having a great time. The other team, it was more crickets. Everybody stayed on mute. But I also spent a lot of time that day reading over the document overview for the company. On Tuesday, I used my favorite icebreaker, 2 truths and a lie. I'll show it here. Both teams reacted differently. The one team that was, having a good time on Monday were just loving it on Tuesday. They had all the input, they were laughing. They were able to kind of go through the different points on 2 truths and a lie and learn more about me, so I think they really enjoyed it. The other team, it was more crickets again. The PO was being really gracious and having a conversation and laughing about stuff, but I didn't really get much energy from them. That day we had refinement for both teams and I just was not confident, so ahead of time I told the POs that I would feel more comfortable seeing them lead it one more time and I'll be ready by Thursday. So I took the most notes. And then I just made sure that I was preparing myself for how to run the refinement alone. I also spent a lot of time meeting with more of my developers. One of the developers that I met with, we'll call them Team B, the team that had less energy. He said that he really appreciated my icebreakers and thought that I should keep it up. Even though he wasn't participating, he was still saying that it, brought some joy to his day. So I felt more secure. Okay, this is good. Even though they weren't engaging as much, it's still having the same impact, which is to, loosen everyone up, help to increase psychological safety. If we can all laugh at me, then it should not be a big deal if we all get involved and laugh at each other. Now let's talk about Wednesday. Wednesday, I was having travel struggles, okay? Driving through Atlanta in the morning during rush hour traffic. I definitely started running a bit late for my first stand-up, so I told the PO if she can just share her screen, I can do, the introductions at the beginning, and I did that from my phone in the car. On this day, I did use an icebreaker question. I have a website that I've been using from the Scrum Alliance. They have random check-in questions. You press right and then a question will pop up, and if you didn't like that question, you can change it and just random questions pop up. So I used that for my icebreaker on Wednesday. On that day, I met with more developers, and then I started really playing with Miro, Miro. They have a whole icebreaker template that I was really starting to have fun with. I used one of the random question generators to find a question. The question that I found was, what is the dumbest accomplishment you are proud of? And then on Miro, I made a whole template where I asked the developers individually, and then I posted them all on anonymous columns. And we were going to play a game on Thursday where we got to guess everyone's dumbest accomplishment, and then I included GIFs. I did that for Team A because Team A, they're lively, they're engaging, and they also love communicating with GIFs. Their whole Slack channel is few words and then all the GIFs. So it's really fun to be a part of that team, and I really enjoy that. So on Wednesday, I really started playing with Miro and created this whole icebreaker to do on the following day, on Thursday. But what happened on Thursday? Can you guess? I woke up sick. I did not feel well. That morning, I called my manager and I told her, and she completely understood. And guess what? No lesson plans, nobody calling me during the day, no follow-up, no stress about what's happening to my team or my students when I was in the classroom. None of it. I just literally slept all day until lunchtime, when my 13-year-old, who was trying to make me some hot tea, ended up cutting himself, squeezing some lemons, and then I realized that he was sick. So with him being sick, I ended up taking him to the pediatrician for an emergency walk-in visit just to make sure that he was okay. We both got COVID tests, but the whole rest of the day was me focused on helping him get better. And then in the afternoon or the evening, when the babies came home from school, all of a sudden I realized that my 4-year-old was sick. He was crying and holding his ear. He ended up having an ear infection, and we spent the evening in the urgent care, the emergency room, to help him get better. So I didn't even get to spend time taking care of myself, but I was really determined to make sure that I worked on Friday. Friday's another one of our work from home days. So yeah, let's talk about Friday. On Friday, I did not do my icebreaker with the Miro board because I really wanted to use my 3 screens. Having 3 monitors just really freed me up and helps me a lot at work. I really don't know why. I cannot explain it. I guess it's just having more makes me feel better. But I needed my 3rd monitor so that I can manipulate the Miro board and see everyone on Zoom at the same time. So I did not get to use my icebreaker that day. I used the check-in generator again. That day, I spent a lot of time just doing my meetings, getting through. I still did not feel 100% my best. And I know it would have been okay if I would have just took another day, but I didn't really want to. I was home anyways, and it was fine. On that day, I was just looking to see how I can transition to being fully home 100% of the time. And that's basically week 2. Week 3, we can go over it real quick, because week 3 I was actually able to come to an agreement to just really work from home. So on week 3, I was leading all the meetings. I finally got to do my refinements. I missed the opportunity the previous Thursday because I was sick. So on week 3, I led both refinements on Tuesday and Thursday. Refinements looked really different for each team. Team A is the team that was, more of a regular Scrum team size, that was my more engaging team. They were amazing. They had great camaraderie. I was already able to identify certain dysfunctions in the team. So I did collaborate with a few developers about how to support making them more cross-functional. So in week 3, I kind of really focused on sharing the knowledge and making the team more cross-functional. And then team B, let's call that, team B is the larger team that I was kind of working through, getting to know all of those developers. I did not get through it yet by the end of week 2 for sure. That team was extremely efficient and great at their job. I was just having a harder time connecting with them. They also had more of a global team, so there were people who lived across the United States and in different countries in that team. So sometimes getting to meet with them one-on-one outside of, their normal stand-up times was a little bit more difficult. But I was slowly working through that and just trying to make my schedule accommodate theirs. But that PO, she was very much giving boss status. She definitely ran that team. Well, part of me kind of felt like an imposer on that team because the PO just was a very strong presence on the team. I absolutely respect her and think she was doing, a great job, but she was definitely, leading and guiding the team. That was her. So those teams were definitely more Kanban than Scrum. They all were under the Agile umbrella, but they ran more like Kanban. So at that point, they had no cadences. Their sprints were ongoing. There were no like hard stop. So we were able to do sprint backlog refinement, and I did do a sprint retrospective on the first week. I observed it. I was planning to do more moving forward. I am gonna have some new teams moving forward, so those teams are hopefully way more Scrum. So I'm just really excited to go through like a 2-week cadence or whatever the sprint cycle duration is. And I'll also be using different programs. I'll be using Azure DevOps. So I'm really excited about that and excited about what this looks like moving forward. I am going to be working from home moving forward, so I won't be doing a walkthrough with my camera, but I will show you a day in the life after I get settled with my new teams. The next video will be based on some of the most frequently asked questions that people have been asking me on LinkedIn.